Today, we're diving into 20 real swords so bizarre and fascinating that they look fake. Let's get into it. Kōra. The Nepalese kōra is a peculiar type of sword that is strongly associated with the Gurkhas of Nepal. Single-edged, forward-curved, and with a pronounced widening at the tip, the kōra looks and feels rather mace-like. They usually have a thick spine to ensure rigidity on the relatively narrow base. Most of the blades are forge-folded, with a high-carbon steel edge plate and a wood-like grain. Some kōra blades show beautifully complex bird's-eye pattern welding. The hilts typically have a cylindrical grip section between two round discs that protect and confine the hand. Pommels are stacked discs, or large bud shapes. Shotel from Ethiopia features a blade curved so dramatically that it forms almost a semicircle. Ethiopian warriors designed it specifically to reach around an opponent's shield and strike at vulnerable areas. The extreme curvature, sometimes reaching up to 3 feet in length, allowed fighters to hook over defensive barriers and deliver thrusting attacks to the neck, ribs, or kidneys. In the hands of a trained warrior, the shotel was a nightmare to defend against. Pada is an Indian gauntlet sword, where the blade is literally attached to a gauntlet that covers the entire forearm. Your hand grips a crossbar inside the gauntlet, and the blade extends straight out from your fist. This design turned your entire arm into a weapon while simultaneously protecting it. It was particularly popular among Marathon warriors in the 17th and 18th centuries and was devastating in cavalry charges. Makraka from Central Africa comes a throwing sword that doubles as a close combat weapon. Used by various tribes in what is now the Democratic Republic of Congo and Sudan, it features a curved blade with a distinctive hook near the tip. The hook increased the weapon's effectiveness when thrown, causing more severe wounds upon impact. Warriors could throw it with deadly accuracy at medium range, then switch to hand-to-hand combat if needed. Urumi from India is possibly the most dangerous weapon on this list, to everyone, even the person wielding it. It consists of one or more flexible steel blades attached to a handle. When swung, these blades whip through the air like metal ribbons, capable of slicing through flesh and bone. Masters could control multiple blades simultaneously, creating a deadly sphere of cutting steel around themselves. It required years of training to use without injuring yourself. Flammenschwert or flamberge sword. The flamberge or flame sword in German features a distinctive wavy blade that looks like frozen flames. The undulating edge made the blade more difficult to parry as it would catch and bind against an opponent's straight blade. It also created more severe wounds due to the irregular cutting pattern. The vibrations created when striking another sword could potentially disarm an opponent. These swords were used by specialized soldiers called Doppelsoldner in 16th century Europe.
The ongambe, also called gulu, is an execution sword from Central Africa with a distinctive curved, almost crescent-shaped design. Used primarily by the Ongambe people of the Congo region, this sword served dual purposes, as a weapon for ceremonial executions and rituals. The curved blade was designed for powerful sweeping cuts, and the craftsmanship often included intricate patterns denoting the owner's status. Now, there's also a dagger version of the bichwa that deserves its own mention. The bichwa from India features a double-edged blade that curves like a scorpion's tail. The name actually translates to scorpion's sting, which perfectly describes its appearance. The curved blade allowed warriors to strike at unexpected angles, making it extremely difficult to predict or block attacks. The bichwa was often used in pairs, giving fighters a devastating dual-wielding capability in close combat. The akrafena is a ceremonial and combat sword from the Akan people of Ghana. It features a distinctive leaf-shaped blade with elaborate symbolism embedded in its design. Akan chiefs and warriors carried these during important ceremonies, often decorated with gold leaf and intricate engravings. In combat, the broad blade was effective for both cutting and thrusting. Each akrafena told a story through its decorations, representing proverbs, historical events, or the owner's lineage. From the Kuba Kingdom in Central Africa comes the ikakalaka, recognizable by its large, curved blade that often features elaborate geometric patterns. The Kuba people were master craftsmen, and their swords reflected this artistry. The blade's curve and weight distribution made it excellent for powerful slashing attacks, while the decorative elements served to intimidate opponents and display the warrior's status. The Naga Dao comes from the Naga tribes of northeast India and Myanmar. This sword features a broad, slightly curved blade that widens toward the tip, creating a cleaver-like appearance. The Naga people used these swords in warfare and daily life for clearing vegetation. Many Naga Dao feature intricate engravings that hold spiritual significance. Warriors believed these decorations provided protection and strength in battle. The Simpada are traditional swords used by the Woyo people of Angola and Congo. In the 19th century, European traders acquired these swords, introducing the design to Western audiences. Several variations of the Simpada exist based on their purpose or function. Short and broad with double-edged, leaf-shaped blade that tapers to a rounded or pointed tip. Used as status symbol, spiritual significance, ceremonial use, family heirloom. The Ada, also called Omozo, is a ceremonial sword from the Benin kingdom in what is now southern Nigeria. It's a symbol of royal authority and spiritual power. The Ada features a leaf-shaped blade mounted on an ornate handle, often decorated with brass or bronze fittings. These swords were carried by chiefs and used in important ceremonies. The craftsmanship demonstrated the metalworking expertise of Benin artisans who were renowned throughout West Africa.
Dahomey Hui sword is a distinctive, often elaborate, blade from the pre-colonial West African kingdom of Dahomey, now Benin, known for its unique shapes and connection to the famous Dahomey Amazons, its elite female warriors, with recent research confirming they were locally forged from smelted iron, sometimes using complex folding techniques, not imported. These swords served as status symbols, ceremonial objects, and weapons, varying widely in design, from leaf-shaped blades to those incorporating geometric patterns or animal motifs, and were used by elite warriors, including the female Mino soldiers. Moro kris, the Moro kris, also known as keris, is a powerful combat sword originating from the Muslim Moro populations of the southern Philippines, especially in the Mindanao and Sulu regions. Although it shares common ancestors with the Indonesian keris, the Moro version evolved into a robust and larger weapon of war, designed specifically for the battlefield. It generally measures between 45 and 66 centimeters. It can be fully wavy, symbolizing the mythical Naga dragon in motion, or mixed, wavy near the hilt and straight to the tip. Khopesh. The khopesh takes us back to ancient Egypt, making it one of the oldest swords on this list. This sickle-shaped sword was the weapon of choice for Egyptian pharaohs and warriors for over 1,000 years. The distinctive curved blade was designed to hook an opponent's shield or weapon and pull it aside, creating an opening for attack. Pharaohs were often depicted holding them, and they were included in royal tombs. Golia. The Golia sword is a North Indian sword that is mostly found around Punjab. It is a strongly curved one-edged sword resembling the shape of a crescent moon. Even the direct translation of the name means round in Indian. It comes from the 19th century and was mostly used in mounted warfare, hence the very strong curve that made it better for slashing. It is also a very prestigious sword to own and is usually decorated with lots of diamonds and pearls. Its length is around 38 inches, 95 centimeters, and it is very easy to use. Ram Dao. The Ram Dao is a massive ceremonial sword originating from Nepal and the Bengal and Assam regions of India. Unlike the other swords mentioned, it is not a combat weapon, but rather a sacred instrument used exclusively for the ritual sacrifice of animals. It has a wide blade that is extremely heavy at the tip, curving forward in a shape resembling a hook or question mark. This frontal weight is designed to ensure the decapitation of the animal with a single downward blow. Almost all ramdaos feature an eye engraved or inlaid in brass near the tip of the blade. This symbol represents the watchful presence of the goddess Kali during the ritual. Tega. The tega is a type of Indian sword directly inspired by the Islamic sword known as the Zulfiqar. It has a single-edged blade with a very interesting ending at the tip. It could have been used for slashing and in battles, but later started being used for ceremonial purposes since its blade's tip wasn't very good for fighting. Its biggest usage was for executions, which is why it is sometimes known as the executioner's sword. This sword is easily spotted because its blade gets wider closer to the tip and then splits into two separate tip points. It is usually around 47 inches, 1.2 meters, and can weigh around 7.7 pounds, 3.5 kilograms, making it a very heavy tool to use.
Finally, we have the Mopla sword, a traditional war knife or short sword of the Mapila people, a Muslim community from the Malabar coast in southwestern India, present-day Kerala state. It is broad, short, and double-edged with a gentle curve. The point is generally wider than the base, designed for powerful cutting blows and decapitation in close combat. The handle is made of wood, horn, or ivory,
often decorated with brass or silver. Unlike many Indian swords, the mopla does not have a handguard. The average overall length is about 60 centimeters, 24 inches, with the blade occupying about 35 centimeters of that total. And there you have it, 20 exotic swords that most people have never heard of, each with its own unique history, design, and purpose.